What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, okay, Barry, you're standing up good. We are going to be taking a look at the final injury report of the week for this Lions and Bears game. We have some more updates on the quarterback battle as, man, Matt Nagy, like, the reporters, they're coming at him. At the same time, we do have some updates. A player for the Lions has been labeled out today. And for the Bears, we got some updates there as well. So let's get it started.
We're going to bite a kneecap off, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
And welcome, everybody, to our video. Glad you guys are here. We're here to take a look at this final injury report. We're here to spin the wheel. I did not do this in yesterday's stream. I kind of forgot to, but I'm pretty sure I have all the names that are supposed to be in here. All right, so one take, we're recording it. I'm going to spin the wheel to see who wins the tickets to the Bengals and the Lions game. 2 tickets to that game. And if you do win, get in contact with me, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, like those 2 ways probably work the best. Direct message me. I'll get back to you, and we'll get the tickets figured out, okay? I'm pretty sure I got every name in here. I double-checked. I'm like, okay, I think we're good. Everybody that said done is in here, so I'm pretty sure we got it. I'm pretty sure we do it. I appreciate the comments from Spencer, my man. I appreciate you. The love is unreal, but... Oh, and also, hold up. My guy Sage, you need to get some Taco Bell now. Taco Bell is always good. I'm just saying. And also, my man Rob Stone, you said 56-21? My dude, come on, man. All right, let's do this. Let's do this spin thing. This is completely random. 1 spin. I have not spun this thing yet. Here we go. Let's see who gets them. Bam. That thing is spinning fast. Hold up. It might fall off the, what's holding that on there? And... Hey, D-Cat! What? My man D-Cat, congratulations. D-Cat has won 2 tickets to the Lions and Bengals game. And if I remember correctly, your comment, you had like you wanted to take someone with you to it. So that's awesome. Congratulations, man. I like okay. And we will be doing more giveaways in the future. To everyone that entered in, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys. And like I said, stay tuned for more of these. The love was unreal. I appreciate the love on the breakdowns. I know they take a while in their longer videos. I like doing them. They just take a while to make, you know what I mean? But anyways, congratulations, DK. And you know what? Hold on for 1 second, because I'm pretty sure I know what your comment said. So give me 1 second. Dose, I haven't been to a game since I was 15. I'm now 43. You're 43. But I love to take my son to the game if you'd bless me with the tickets. Well, it happened to be your day, my guy. Keep up the great content. I'm always listening to you. Take care. I appreciate it. And you sub to both my channels. Your kids are huge gamers. I got to get back on the other channel. But D-Cat, congrats, man. 2 tickets. Message me on Insta, Twitter, whichever one works better. It will make this thing happen. You can try Facebook. I'll be looking out for your name. Congratulations, man. And now let's get into the video. So let's dive into this injury report for the Lions and for the Chicago Bears. We also have some notes from some pressers that we had from both sides for the Bears and the Lions. For the Lions side, we're from Sewell, Campbell, Derek Barnes, Matt Nelson. For the Bears side, Dalton, Fields, Nagy. And I got to be honest, man, those Nagy pressers are awkward. They're really awkward. They feel like the Matt Patricia pressers before he was taken out of Detroit. That's kind of what it feels like. They're kind of awkward. They're kind of coming at the coach, and it's like, okay, he's not giving straight up answers. It's weird. The fans, they're not happy with what's going on there. So those are some awkward pressers, that's for sure. But we do have some notes from that. However, we also have some notes with the Lions and the Bears injury report, plus a couple of updates that I missed before, which I'm like, oh, how did I miss that? Like, what was that? How did I miss that? So I want to update those today, and we have some roster moves. But let's get into it. All right, so as you guys can see on the screen, this is the final injury report for the Detroit Lions, and we're still here with the same 4 players that has been all week, which is good. And as we start at the top, Trey Flowers has been labeled as out. So the Lions this time around did not wait until the day of to see if he could play. They labeled him as out on Friday. And Dan Campbell told us today that he has been getting better this week from where he came from last week. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that means because he was labeled as no participation, maybe stretching, running around, things like that. But he said he felt like Trey Flowers was leaning towards not playing. Well, they wasted no time to label him as out. They didn't wait until Sunday this time around. But I am excited for the opportunity it's going to give Harris, Julian Okwara, Austin Bryant, those guys, specifically Charles Harris again. We saw it against the Packers start to come on for him because he got some attempts there because Trey Flowers wasn't out the entire time. And then last week against Baltimore, he was the guy opposite of Romeo Okwara, who played well. And man, he was outstanding. I mean, he was really good. And it's awesome to see him get that opportunity. And now he's getting another chance to build on top of that against a Bears offensive line that's had some struggles. I think everywhere on the offensive line, from the tackle position, even to the guard positions, they've had some struggles. They, of course, have White here at the left guard spot, and he does his thing. And we'll get into this when we get into the preview of this game. But my point is that this is an opportunity to get after it again. And that's what I'm excited about. But unfortunately for Flowers, we won't have him once again. However, it does sound like maybe next week we get him back. Maybe. I'm not sure. Either way, that is the big one for the Lions. He is labeled out. But behind that, these three players have all been limited for the last, 2-3 weeks. They've all been listed as questionable, and they've all played. Brockers, Romeo, we really haven't gotten any updates through those guys throughout the week, other than the fact that they've been limited every day in practice. But they finished their last games they played in. We haven't got any updates that would make us not feel like they would play this weekend. So I'm feeling good about both Brockers and Romeo Okwara heading into this game. These are not really two new additions. They've been kind of a staple of the injury report for the last couple of weeks. But then you wrap it up with DeAndre Swift. He's been listed as questionable with limited participation because of his groin injury. And again, that's something that we've seen for a few weeks. But according to the Lions coaches, it sounds like we're going to see more and more Swift going forward. Campbell told us early in the week, don't be surprised he's the first running back on the field. Here, Anthony Lynn talking about it. Deuce Staley, they're talking about how DeAndre Swift early in the season, they did kind of have a little, not really a snap count for him, but they were making sure that he was good. They were kind of slowly getting him back into it because he didn't have a huge training camp. But as the weeks have went on, he's been getting more and more involved. And last week, we just saw Swift take over the entire second half. So he's one of those guys that I think we're just going to see more and more of for DeAndre Swift. So even though they're all listed as questionable, there's no reason to not be optimistic about those guys heading into this weekend as of right now. Now, I do have a few updates aside from those players. First off, Jashon Cornell. He, yesterday, was added to the active roster for the Detroit Lions. So he went from the suspension to the active roster. And at first, I see that, and I'm like, hold up. How is he on the active roster? We didn't make any moves. But then it hit me. I forgot that we released Jamie Collins. Because they knew Jashon Cornell was coming back, maybe they just decided, let's not wait. Let's just release Jamie Collins. So that's what they did. So with them releasing Jamie Collins, it opened up that roster spot. Jashon Cornell has now taken that roster spot. So the Lions, I believe, are back to their 53-man roster with Jashon Cornell. And he has not been on the practice report. So that's very good news. We could see some Jashon Cornell this weekend. Campbell didn't say for sure we'd see him, but we definitely could. Now, keep in mind, Kevin Strong has also been added to injury reserve. I know I said earlier this week that he's not on here. That's a good thing. Well, he's not on here because he's on IR. I don't know how I forgot about that. Last Saturday, he was placed on IR. So for 2 more weeks after this week, he'll continue to be on injury reserve. So we won't see him. And the Lions also protected Bruce Hector on the practice squad. So we do have that for depth. But I think there's a shot that we possibly could see some Jashon Cornell this week. We know defensive line is pretty deep, so maybe not. But we could. The Lions like him. We could see him. And of course, have to inactivate some players. And last week, they did that with Tom Kennedy, which is why we saw some Kadero Hodge. We saw him on special teams. We actually saw him make a catch near the goal line. He got a first down on an out route for us, so that was pretty cool. So we got to see a little bit of Hodge. I'd like to see even more of Hodge. I mean, mix it Hodge a little bit more. Give him some more opportunities. I think that guy could be really helpful. They did not activate Jermar Jefferson again last week. Deuce brought that up this week, saying that, he wants him to be angry, but I don't anticipate Jermar Jefferson to be active this week because we still do have Jamal and Swift. It's kind of nice to get to hear from Dom Capers today. I really didn't take any notes from anything that he said, but it was kind of cool to hear from Dom Capers. We haven't heard from him a bunch. He talked about just adding some input in and then sometimes not adding input. There really wasn't a ton of notes to take from that one, but it was cool to hear from him. However, both of the Lions starting tackles right now, Penei Sewell and Matt Nelson, spoke to the media, and I think we got some good notes from them. Let's start off with Penei Sewell, who's been playing the left tackle position for the Lions. Of course, the rookie, and this week he's going to be seeing a lot of Robert Quinn, potentially a little bit of a Khalil Mack. They like to put Robert Quinn against that left tackle, so he'll be seeing a lot of Quinn on his side this week. He said that, you got to lock into the games. You can't worry about who you're playing against, but after the game, he will get on Madden and see himself. He's like, okay, I just went against Khalil Mack. Like, I don't know. Hey, look, do your thing. You do you. I think that'd be sweet to play Madden and see yourself. I can't lie. I'm like, that would be so cool to be like, oh, snap, and you didn't create it. That's legit you. They put you in the game. I'd be kind of mad, though, if my ratings weren't good. I'd be like, really? 77? What are we doing here? About the potential movement from left tackle to right tackle, and he said this: I want Taylor Decker back because he kind of sets the standard for our offensive line. He's a veteran for us, and you know what he's going to bring to the table. And I got to, just thinking back when he was saying it, thinking back to going to training camp, man, Taylor Decker was very lock solid against some of our pass rushers. And I know that we have some good pass rushers, and he was tough for guys to beat when they went on some one-on-one reps. Now, I know that's way back. That's going way back to training camp. camp, but we haven't seen him this season. So just remembering that, I'm like, you know what? Taylor Decker was pretty darn good through training camp. Either way, he said, I want Taylor Decker back. And when they asked him, do you think they should move you to right tackle, keep you at left tackle? He basically said, I'll do whatever the team needs. He said that moving to right tackle is a spot where he's worked a little bit on his own after practice, on his own time. Not during practice. During practice, he's playing left tackle, so he's working on that. But he is still taking his reps on his own time at the right tackle spot, prepared for that switch back to the right tackle position. That he will be moving back to the right tackle position when Taylor Decker does come back. And that's kind of what it sounds like, even though Dan Campbell didn't say for sure they made a decision on it. Hank Fraley has said, Sewell's a right tackle, Decker's a left tackle. He's just playing left tackle for now. Either way, though, Taylor Decker is not back. He is still on injury reserve. He's been at practice. That's the word that we've been getting, but he has not been practicing yet. Maybe next week. Maybe next week we get the first sighting of Taylor Decker. That would be pretty cool. Now, when they spoke to Matt Nelson, of course, they asked him about playing Khalil Mack once again, because this is like the second go around Khalil Mack, Matt Nelson. That was his first start, was against this guy named Khalil Mack, and he did pretty darn well. That wasn't to say he had a perfect game against him, but he did pretty well considering he's a defensive lineman, an offensive lineman, his first start, and that's who he's going against. He said, the first couple of snaps, I was a little bit like, okay, I'm going against Khalil Mack, but as he got into it, he's like, it's just football and we just got to play. And he felt like he could hang after that game. So it'll be cool to get a nice little rematch there of those two going at it. And actually, Matt Nelson, I thought, played pretty well against Baltimore. Considering how he played early in the season, I thought he did look much better at Baltimore watching that game back. So we'll see what he looks like this week against Mack, but he has played him before, and I think that matchup's going to be something to keep an eye on. And we know they will switch him back and forth if Khalil Mack's playing. Let's keep that in mind. If Khalil Mack plays this weekend, but it sounds like he will once we get to this injury report. He is fast. They say he's strong, he's fast, he does everything well, but he is fast off the edge. He can line up so wide from an offensive tackle that he can just beat you around the edge. Inside shoulder of an offensive tackle, he'll split the guard and the tackle. He's quick, he's strong. That is going to be a matchup right there. And Quinn, of course, been so much better. You tie that with the defensive lineman that they have on the interior. You, of course, you have Drew Nichols, but then you tie that with a guy like Akeem Hicks and a player that they are going to be getting back this weekend, even though it sounds like he may be a little limited in Eddie Goldman. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this Bears injury report. All right, starting off at the top, Xavier Crawford, who came up yesterday, the cornerback that plays mainly on special teams with limited participation due to a back injury, has been labeled as questionable. Continuing down, we have Gibson, the veteran safety, listed with the hamstring injury, has been labeled as doubtful. Okay, that's what I've been waiting for. Give us a doubtful. Still no probables, but we got a doubtful here. Not practiced at all this week. He did not practice Thursday or Friday last week. He didn't play last week. So like we said all week, we'll probably see much more Deon Bush, and he'll probably take that spot this week. Continuing down, Jimmy Graham has been labeled basically as in. He just rested this week. There was no injury. It was just a rest day. But he's still listed on the report, but he's going to be playing. Joel, whose last name I hit on Wednesday, and I'm leaving it there. This man has been labeled as out. So they lose a little bit of interior linebacker depth. But as we said, there's a shot that we see some Danny Trevathan this week. Doesn't mean he'll start because they do have Alec Ogletree, but with Roquan Smith, even though they're losing some depth here, getting Danny Trevathan back kind of works itself out. And Jesse James, he is labeled as in. So he was out the last 2 days with personal. Not sure what it was. But today, listed as full participation, he's going to play against the Lions. Okay. So we're going to see the former Lion lineup out there. I don't think we'll see him a ton because he is their third tight end on the depth chart right now behind Kmet, behind that man Jimmy Graham. But maybe we see him a little bit. Maybe just a sneak peek at Jesse James. I'm sure we're going to get something while we're watching this of the former Lions on the Bears. Someone's going to bring it up. Bet on it right now. It's going to happen in this game. Khalil Mack, though, here's the big one. It's the one we've been waiting for. He did not practice the last 2 days, but today he has been listed with that foot injury with limited participation, and he has been upgraded, I would say, to questionable. Now, in the words of Matt Nagy, he felt like this was a big deal for him to come back and practice today. There is no guarantee that he plays, but it sounds as if he's probably going to play. If I was betting on this, I would bet that Khalil Mack does play in Sunday against the Lions. So that front seven's healthy. I mean, getting Danny Trevathan back, pairing that with Eddie Goldman's first start is going to come against the Lions. This defensive front is healthy. They're going to throw a lot of talent at us, and we got to be prepared. It's going to be tough. You already have a tough Bears defense, but a lot of things play off of their front seven, and right now it's really it's about as strong as it can get. So yeah, it's going to be an absolute battle, especially after last week for offensive line to bounce back. This is where Matt Nagy was getting some heat because a lot of reporters, a lot of Bears fans, they want to see Justin Fields out there. Personally, I'd rather see us face Justin Fields. I'm going to be honest. Not a switch during the game. Andy Dalton right now would be a little bit tougher than playing Justin Fields. That's just my opinion from watching it. Fields will make some mistakes. I feel like Matt Nagy's more comfortable with Andy Dalton out there from how it sounds. He has been labeled with questionable, and Nagy told us today that they will have the quarterback position a game time decision. So they have not made the decision on who is going to play in this game. It's a game time decision. But he did say that Andy Dalton has been getting better throughout the week, even though he's been listed as limited throughout the week. Now, the players said they didn't know who's going to play. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. They said they're going to see where Andy's at tomorrow, where he's at Sunday. But to me, it sounds as if they want to know that Andy Dalton's good to go for Sunday, and they want him to play against the Lions. So, I'm going to guess Andy Dalton's playing against the Lions this Sunday. But, as you can see at the bottom, Justin Fields, again, listed with full participation. He still is wearing the right hand brace, which Matt Nagy brought up, and he said he's got to get used to that. But he's listed with full participation once again. So, it's interesting. Matt Nagy told us earlier in the week that the number one was Andy Dalton, the number two was Justin Fields. He also said that Nick Foles, there's a good chance he's probably inactive for this game. They don't really need to have both of the guys. But as long as Andy Dalton is good to go and mentally he's right, this is what Matt Nagy said because he's dealing with the injury that he is. If he's mentally comfortable out there, then it sounds like he's going to be the quarterback facing us. This thing remains up in the air. Still didn't give us a clear-cut decision on this, and I know the fans are not happy about it. But at the same time, they wouldn't be happy if he said Andy Dalton either. Eddie Goldman is going to make his debut, it looks like. The nose tackle listed with a knee, full participation once again, just like yesterday. So he went from limited to full. He is going to make his debut. Now, the way that he worded it when he was talking about Eddie Goldman, Matt Nagy, he made it sound as if you may be a little bit limited because this is his first game back and the conditioning side of things, but it definitely sounds like he's going to play. So, man, they're healthy in that front seven. Darnell Mooney, listed with limited participation, is listed as questionable, but I do think he will play. So, that is the Bears injury report. Of course, all of the talk comes with the quarterback position, as it should. We'll see how it plays out. Betting on the fact that Matt Nelson's going to roll out there with some swagger, with a little bit of confidence, knowing that what he did in the narrative after him playing Khalil Mack for his first start. I think he's going to come out with a little swag, playing at that right tackle position again. And Sewell, man, he just, like he said today, I got to be better. Like, I got to win more of my reps. My technique's got to be better, run blocking, pass blocking. So, I think these guys are ready for the challenge. It'll be great to have Taylor Decker back when he does come back. And then, of course, you have a guy like Deshaun Hand. I'm not sure when Deshaun Hand's coming back. Also, update on the kicker spot for the Lions. Ryan Santoso could be the guy again this week. They haven't labeled anything official here, but they did protect Santoso. And we have not heard anything about Seibert coming off the COVID list. When that does happen, I'll let you know. But we haven't heard anything about that. So, there's a very good possible shot that we see Santoso as Lions kicker again this week. Matt Nagy still won't say who's calling plays. And the reporters were not happy about that either. He's still not saying I'm doing it or they're doing it. I'm assuming he's still calling plays. All he said was that we basically had talks with our coaches. So, yeah, there's definitely some heat brewing in Chicago right now. That there's no doubt about it. So if the Lions could come up and kind of punch him in the mouth, that would be great. That could make things really ugly in Chicago. But at the same time, man, that defensive front on the road, man, it's gonna be a challenge offensively. But I do like our chances. It's just tough to run the ball against them. We'll get to our preview soon. Regardless, that is your Lions and Bears update. That is your injury report. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulations to my man on winning the 2 tickets. Make sure y'all stay tuned for some more giveaways. Thank you, Prep, for watching, and I'm out.